Okay, so I just want to make a quick video about something that just happened to me a couple minutes ago. Um, I got banned from the r slash Meet Your Maker subreddit affiliated Discord server, and I don't unfortunately have any Discord screenshots because I didn't take any before I was banned. Um, some people some people did. If you are in the Discord server, maybe you can ask certain people for screenshots. Um, I don't have them myself though. And I'm just gonna quickly explain why I got banned. So what happened is, I was chilling in the server, chatting back and forth, and this one individual comes in and starts talking about something, and I say something, and we kind of get into actually not just I. A lot of people get involved with this guy, and it turns into a discussion. And I guess for some maybe members it was a heated discussion. Not for myself, but it may have been for others. Well, okay, it did get heated. It obviously got heated for the individual in question, because at one point he used a homophobic slur that starts with the letter F, to refer to the members of the Discord server at large. And so at that, I kind of was like, okay, that's the point where for me, I was like, okay, this guy obviously is not worth arguing with. I laughed. I said, "You are so fucking stupid, man," because what else can you do when someone has called you a fag? And I said, kiss my ass, you suck my nuts. This guy called me a fag. Fuck you, right? And I pinged the mods, which is like what the mods say to do in that server. They say to ping the advisor's role, which is like their equivalent of like a moderator below the administrator, which is Chimera for that server, I'm pretty sure. And so I do, and then an admin comes in, and the admin says, "Hey, that kind of talk's not allowed here. Don't do it again." And I said, and by the way, none of this happened in DMs. This was all in the general chat, which I wanted because I wanted all of this discussion to be happening, in front of the full view of the server's members. I wanted, because I disagreed with this moderated decision a lot. I really disagreed with this decision when it comes to community moderating, because I said you are going to do more than just issue a verbal warning, right? This guy said you're all a bunch of fags. That is immediate grounds for a ban. In my view, I don't think that's an unorthodox view. I know that at least a lot of people in the Discord server, in the moments before I was banned, a lot of people agreed with me that is grounds for a ban, is legitimate grounds for an immediate ban. You shouldn't get a second chance on calling people slurs. And I said he's gonna get more than a verbal warning, right? And then it was just like, yeah, okay, he is just gonna get a verbal warning. And I said, wow, that's horrible. And there's no response. And I said, so does that mean we just get a freebie slur? We can all just use a slur once? If so, what slurs can we use? Can we use the N-word? If we use the N-word, does it matter if there's a hard R or an A? I hope the admins can get back to us soon about this. And I was called out on that by the admin for, he said, like, asking that question is being childish. I can understand that it's combative, and I understand that it's hostile, but I think it's justified in that case. The point of the question is not to be childish, but it's to say, hey, that logic is that's illogical. And I'm trying to say, you're a moderator, right? The things you do, the way you deal with things sets a precedent. At least it should. I think we can all agree there should be consistency in moderation. And I also hope it's understood that I'm talking about authority here, right? The authority should be applied consistently. We're talking about, justice. I understand, this, we're talking about a fucking Discord server here. It's not like, the fate of the galaxy hangs in the balance, but I'm just trying to talk about, the principles, the concepts here. And justice, I think, we can all agree, should be applied consistently. So if someone says a slur, a moderator should respond to that slur. I'm getting lost in the sauce here, but I think I'm over explaining my point. I think most people can agree with the point I'm trying to make intuitively. So I'm just going to move on. And so the main this main argument happened between myself, an advisor. Sorry, I'm getting lost in the Discord special names. It was myself, an admin named Melicor, and a moderator called Nina Hype, who I guess is also a Twitch streamer. I don't know. I don't. It's not. I don't know. I guess it's not really an important detail for this. It's not really pertinent. I'm sorry. I just threw it in there because I'm lost in the sauce. I didn't make a script or anything, and the point being that then they were like, well, you know, we apologize that it's, you know, maybe it doesn't seem fair to you, but there are a lot of factors that we consider behind the scenes about how we moderate. And then I responded by saying, well, just because you guys all discussed it amongst yourselves and thought it was justified does not mean that it actually is just. I don't think it's just, and a lot of people don't think it's just. So who cares if you all discussed it in committee? So what? So what if you care? So what? So what if you think it's just? I don't. That's why I'm arguing about it, or I was in this case. Meet Your Maker appears to not be working, but OBS is still working, I guess. So, okay, so they all discussed it in committee. That's right. So I don't care. The argument that I made is that it doesn't matter if the moderation team it doesn't matter if the moderation team all discussed it amongst themselves and decided that it was fair to not immediately permanently ban somebody, or at least not to immediately ban someone. Maybe it doesn't necessarily have to be permanent ban. I guess if you like, you can do like a 3-day, 7-day. I mean, if you like, you can do a timed ban. But I think just because the moderation team agreed amongst themselves that it was okay to not immediately ban somebody for using a slur, especially one as heinous as fag, it doesn't mean that it is okay. It's still wrong. That's still the wrong decision to make. Which, sure, that is subjective, but what I was frustrated about was that this point was brought up at all, because it's not even addressing the argument. That's not even addressing the actual point. Which the point is that's a unjust decision. And just because you tell me that the team thinks it's just, well, I don't. So what? To which the moderator who raised this argument in question, Nina Hype, responded by saying, well, look, I'm also queer, so don't think that you're the only queer person. And I don't think it's all about you. And I said, it's not all about me. I know I'm not the only queer person in this server. Spoiler alert, everyone knows that the behavior player base has a huge LGBTQ population. Duh. I took that into account. If I was the only queer person in the server, I wouldn't even bother arguing. I would just leave the server. I would say, oh, okay, well, you know, there's a bunch of straight people moderating this, and they don't care about queer rights. You know, they don't care to you know, moderate in favor of equality, so I'll just leave, because it's not worth, you know, staying there. But, you know, the Meet Your Maker Discord is not where I'm expecting to, you know, be a victim of homophobia, and that's just okay there. So I did argue, because I thought, this is so ridiculous. Surely, you know, surely authority will see reason. And I guess, you know, it just doesn't always, sadly. And then I was banned. I responded to that argument by saying like, well, I'm queer, you know, I'm arguing on behalf of the other queer people in the server, and just because you are queer, it does not make you the arbiter of what isn't okay to do um, to queer people. Just because you are queer, it doesn't mean that you can forgive someone for calling me a fag. It doesn't mean that. It does, no, that's so silly and ridiculous that just like everything else that I heard from the people on the mod and admin team of the Discord server who argued with me, um, it was so ridiculous that I couldn't believe I had to argue it and to explain it. Um, but yeah, so there you go. So that's the Meet Your Maker Discord, and you know, hopefully, you know, this enlightened you, or you know, kind of showed you what they are like, I guess. Because I imagine that after I was banned, you know, they're probably gonna try and scrub the argument, make themselves look better, or just hope that people forget about it. But I think it's really I really like Meet Your Maker, and I really would like there to be a nice, good, healthy community where people can discuss the game and, you know, not be called slurs. And I think that is a reasonable thing to ask. So yeah, thanks. Hey, sorry, just one last thing that I wanted to add on because it just occurred to me. Um, I do want to make it clear that before I was banned for the point that I just explained, for explaining that, you know, well, I'm also queer and etc., you know, I'm still upset. I was warned prior to making kind of that last point that I was like in high risk of being banned if I continued arguing. So it's not like I was just like, oh, suddenly I was banned out of the blue and I can't believe this happened. No, I was warned about it. However, I felt strongly enough about the point to, you know, continue arguing, even at risk of my ban. You know, I'm frankly, I don't mind being. I would like to be in, you know, a great Meet Your Maker Discord that doesn't permit that kind of like hate speech. But because that Discord server does permit hate speech, I don't mind, you know, being banned from it. I don't mind not being allowed to participate in it. You know, if that server changes the rules, you know, if they ban people who use slurs, then, you know, I would probably look into appealing my ban if I could. I mean, then I'd want to be a part of it. But I'm really getting lost in the sauce again. Bad habit of mine, I guess. Sorry, but yeah. So I just want to make it. I do want to make it clear that I wasn't like banned. Like, oh my god, I can't. What? I was banned out of the blue. I'm not saying that's what happened. They communicated to me that, hey, if you keep arguing, you know, we're probably going to ban you. I just, you know, chose to keep arguing regardless. I didn't care. So that's all. See ya.